Hey guys, what's up? We're here on Wicker Street. I got the great Mike Lorenzo and a new addition to the team, the great detective.
The new old edition,
Bob Maitre, former Yonkers police. And you guys were actually partners too, right?
not partners.
We worked in the same, we worked in the same squad then.
We worked in the same squad. And so we're here on Wicker because these guys are highly interested in this Neto story, and so I figured I would bring them to the center of activity. So here it is. So anyway, guys, let's knock on the door and just say hi to Maria. Sylvia told her that we're coming.
Good.
And of course,
I want to get my bearings. Which is that the car house right there?
yeah, that's the car house there.
Okay,
there was a house here where
yeah.
this community garden is.
Yeah.
That either burnt down probably as one of this.
Nice.
Wasn't Dickie's lounge
Dickie's
here
was
too?
right here.
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, Dickie's was here.
Well,
And the night of the shooting of the dog, they saw who they are positive is Berkowitz running down here, getting into an already waiting and running car that was facing south.
Volkswagen too, right? Maybe.
And he got into the passenger side, and that his rifle was sticking out the window. So they were even prepared with that.
Yeah.
What time of night was it?
It was. They were having a New Year's Eve party. I'm sorry, no, Christmas Eve party. So it probably was in the nighttime at some point, but I don't know exactly the time. We can ask them. Well, I don't know if Maria is going to want to sit.
Can I look at the street lights?
Yeah.
Is there a street light there, or is that just utility? And a light there.
And remember, this wasn't here.
What?
This wasn't here.
No,
they
that
had
wasn't
a-
I
here.
know, but you got a light here.
They had
I'm looking at lighting.
There was never anything on Wicker Street. It was very empty as far as buildings, homes.
Right.
Okay.
And so you had a clear sight line from the car
Yeah.
house to the Neto house.
That
You
make-
had a clear sight line from Berkowitz's to the Netos.
Yeah. But that would explain an infatuation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And with a pair of binoculars, or just creeping around.
Oh, yeah.
Or just hanging out back here.
Right
in
back
this,
here.
in this
Yep.
spot right here.
Yep.
Yeah. Peeper.
Well,
The peeper.
This was
And
the
we were-
Thieves Highway, the aqueduct. You know, just
Yeah.
everybody traveled it.
Yeah.
And
I
the
was telling
owner-
her when I was a kid, it was these areas were just blighted with garbage, and people would just dump things. The contractors would dump shit on the aqueduct. I remember.
Really?
It was horrible. The litter, because I grew up next to City Stairs, so I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
It was just horrendous.
We spoke to the owner of 22, who I don't want to put her name on this tape, but she said she had a peeping incident. Her
Yeah.
right here.
You can imagine the peepers because you got the freaking aqueduct.
She said she had, and I'm getting close to the mic here because I don't have my own mic on, so that's
Okay.
why I'm standing so close so we can hear. She said she had a peeping incident at those two windows right there, behind this front end porch. That second set of two
Okay.
windows. She said that that was her bedroom, and she looked out one day and there was a fucking guy peeping in. But how do you peep in unless you're on the shoulders of
Garbage
somebody?
can, no, lift it up.
Maybe, but she didn't. She
Yeah.
said she didn't.
It's a big distance. It's a
That's
good height.
That's a good question. But
Yeah.
she
If
had
they kept the garbage cans there, would have flipped it over and still on top of it.
right, but she had a peeping incident for sure. She
Yeah.
said there.
I would always think that, like I told you, when you're living next to a woods or something like that, you're gonna have,
you're gonna
have
get it,
a tree line or bushes just to. Because I grew up next to City Stairs, and these creeps were looking out window all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Luckily, we had a dog, and my father was a badass, so that got kind of taken care of. But yeah,
Let's say hello to Maria Neto.
this is a nice house, huh?
Yeah.
This is a gorgeous house.
Yep.
And I think it was always a multi-family home. I don't think these were single-family homes because it goes up here to different apartments.
These are-
So let me just knock on the door, tell her that we're here.
It's like an oasis somehow.
Huh?
It's like an oasis.
Yes.
This family's been here since like 1960.
But these old homes are gorgeous. Even I look at
Yeah.
the shutters over there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where the guy lived in, called in the fake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right there.
Here's Maria.
But
Hi, Maria. How are you, dear? It's great to see you. Good to see you. It's so nice to see you. I just
Hello.
wanted to introduce you to two people. These
How are you?
These were former detectives in the Yonkers Police Department. Maria, this is Mike.
and we both worked here as patrolmen too.
They were patrolmen too. Maria, this is Bob.
Hi. Nice meeting you. Nice
These
meeting-
guys are very interested in your story, and I just want to show them the.
Right, anytime you want it, or any you need it.
Just come in. Just
Thank
Do
you.
you want to come in? You can.
No,
Do you guys want to talk to her?
Yeah, come in.
No, no,
Got muddy
no. Well,
shoes.
are you cold? Are you cold, dear?
Got muddy
I might have
shoes.
mud on my
We
shoe.
got muddy shoes.
Well,
and-
Beautiful
When
home.
is this gonna happen again? Come
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have a beautiful home.
You know, when we get this 50 years back, 55 years, it's a junk.
Yeah.
Then my husband and I,
We did it.
we did it together.
You have a relation to Suzette Neto? They lived on North Broadway?
No, that is the first thing, the confusion when that happened. When that happened here, then my husband started keep going, call the cop, go there, and then they told us somebody confusion with the needle. I know that family.
Yeah, we lived on North
but I
Broadway in
think
Glenwood.
They moved
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah, yeah. I dated that girl. You're Portuguese.
Yeah, come on, no,
Yeah,
I'm
she's Cuban.
Cuban.
Oh, Cuba.
I
Cool,
am from
Cuba.
Castro.
Oh, sorry.
I don't want to see my life.
Ay, 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 ay.
She knew Castro.
I recognize.
Any cigars?
Any cigars?
Let me ask you something. When you were having this party, because Manny brought it up to me, I just have
The party, the New Year's Eve when your dog was shot.
Yeah. No, it's a Christmas.
Christmas.
I'll sit to your left, Manny.
was your
When you sit here, I'll
was
sit there. So you,
your dog
The mic, right?
a loud dog?
Yeah.
He was like a guard dog or no?
No, he said peaceful dog. We have after another one, the name King.
Yeah.
He's a devil.
The next dog, King, was a devil.
After
Which dog got shot?
Eh?
Rocket.
Okay.
Rocket.
Was that an in-house dog, or you guys keep him outside the dog
No,
house?
no, he's a good guy.
No, but
the
he was
dog.
an in-house dog or
In the
outside?
house. We
He
have a
didn't
house.
have a dog house outside where he
We
stayed.
have a dog, that dog outside, and we put it hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, that day we have the
Yeah, I had a dog house. When I was a kid, I had a big German Shepherd. and we
Yeah,
had
it's a shepherd. We have a shepherd.
Right, most people had Shepherds in the 70s, yeah.
But
But,
excuse me, it's not because the son of saying we had that dog
No.
before that any problem we have here.
yeah, no, me too. That was a very popular, I was telling him, in the 70s, a German Shepherd was a very popular dog before
Yeah.
people got Dobermans and Poodles. You didn't see Poodles.
No,
in
let me
the
put the mic on her since you're not
Yep.
saying much and you need to say something.
That
It'll be
dog,
picked up on his.
Rocky,
Yeah.
He's a good dog. He played with my daughter all the time.
Maria, sorry, let me put this microphone on your, I apologize.
Oh.
There we go. Thank you.
Do you remember what time that shooting was? Was it
It's
late?
a Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's at about, I don't know exactly, but maybe 10 o'clock or something like that.
Did
But
you-
we are downstairs in the
Downstairs.
basement.
Did you hear the dog? You didn't hear the shot.
No,
No?
only screaming my daughter,
The dog-
my.
No, they heard the
co-
shot.
Uh,
Teresa said she heard the shot playing the piano.
They heard the shock
Where
when
were
that
they? Where were
happened.
they?
Okay, here's what was going on. You were in the basement. You didn't
Yeah,
hear the shot.
no.
The cousins,
Oh yes, they hear.
Sylvia and Diana were calling
yeah.
her. She was playing piano in the front room.
Right.
They heard the
Front room.
shot. Yeah.
They have the
shot.
piano.
They
yeah.
heard an explosive shot.
Yeah.
Huge.
Explosive shot.
Yeah. Massive shot, they said. It was a big
Yeah.
sound.
And
Like
we
a
hear
fire
this.
exploding.
Where was the dog shot? What part of the?
We'll show you when we leave it, right in front.
No, on the
Oh.
on the dog itself.
The neck,
And it was killed.
dead.
Dead.
Okay.
He dead.
So if that was a real, I mean,
big hunt rifle, heavy.
yeah, because I was telling him with the car shooting, if he shot the hind legs of that dog with a 30-06,
Yeah.
that thing would have been completely blown off.
Yeah.
The leg would have been
That's
blown off and
Right.
probably disemboweled the dog. A 22 is a high frequency, small round, and it, they
Right.
just went in.
Wouldn't do as much damage, yeah.
But so they heard it, and then they went and got their parents, or they immediately looked outside.
They, according to them, they waited till the second shot,
2 shots.
2 shots, and then they went outside. It's all on video on my thing. I'm
Okay.
gonna show it to you.
All right.
Diana walked out to the front. She saw Berkowitz running down, getting into a car that was already waiting for him, running on
Yeah.
on Warburton. Get into the passenger side, stick the rifle out, and the car took off.
Right. Police responded.
Did the police come?
Well, yes, but we have a police here right with us, my son, brother-in-law.
There was a couple police in the house already. That were
One.
members of the family.
One was with my brother-in-law. He's a cop.
Federal agent was it?
Federal, yeah,
Okay.
FBI.
Yeah. And he was there with the party. Then when they hear the shoot my daughter, my niece, everybody here play the piano. Then they started screaming, and right away we go out.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law, I don't know really, he feel the chapa, he right away go out, and he try, and he see them
see
take
them.
the car.
Wow.
He see the guy, take the car, another people waiting for him for sure.
Yeah. What? The dog was outside, why?
Aside, because I was here on the phone, I come here and dog come right away to push me. And then I put aside to be on the plate.
Let him go pee-pee.
Because I have here.
Right.
Playing.
Not on a chain or anything.
No,
this
no,
is-
no, nothing.
because
We
you have
love
the
that.
fence.
We love that dog. We have a fan.
Yeah. How long would you say he was outside before he was shot?
I be aside.
How long was the dog outside before he was shot?
I don't know, a little while, not too much.
Like longer than an hour?
No, an hour or something like that because he all the time inside the home.
Okay, and
all the time.
right.
And he
That is
burst.
so
when-
random that he was only there for an hour. That's very random.
Well, so what do you think?
I mean, it could, because like you have a guy in a car. I mean, they driving around in a car looking to shoot dogs. Maybe they have this loaded long rifle in a car. The
Yeah.
dog's only out there for an hour. It's not like, like
Or less.
getting back to the car thing where this dog is an outside dog, always barking, screaming, yelling.
Right.
And a lot of people who have these mental issues, loud sounds bother them.
Berkowitz called here, or somebody called here to complain about the dog.
When there was Duke, the shepherd, right?
No, when it was Rocket. Their dog was
Right.
Rocket. Duke
Right.
was next door at 22.
Okay. But then they had another dog, right?
King replaced Rocket.
King was the shepherd.
Yes.
Rocket was
Shepherd.
Rocket was also a shepherd.
Yes.
Okay.
But
We should-
Rocket was nice, and Wicked and King was actually a bad.
He buy my
evil dog.
mother.
Wicked
Yeah, I had a
and
bad
Wicker.
dog too. Yeah. My dog was a beautiful dog, but like my mother used to say to my dad, when you have these big dogs like that, you have to really exercise them or they get angry, because they're not meant to sit around the house like a poodle. They're not a
Right.
lap dog. So they get angry and they
Wait, Mike, where's your mic?
Right here.
Okay, because this is important stuff. Put it on your.
So anyway, when that happened, you immediately called the police. Who called the police?
Right away, my brother-in-law
Your
called
brother.
right away the police.
And then the police came and interviewed.
They coming. This is so many things happen here in the house.
Right, that was
You have the record.
that was like the culmination. of it.
And we go all the time. My husband go to
Of the
the
incidents.
police all the
Yeah.
time.
Now, did the detective follow that up? A detective?
I don't can say. Maybe they can do whatever they can do, but in those years maybe. But what happened here, I don't know what they don't put in more attention. I don't blame.
No, looking back, but I'm just saying with this shooting of your dog, the patrolman came, took a report, but did a detective, somebody who came in a suit, ever come after that to
Shirt and
follow
tie, a
up?
guy with a shirt and tie on.
They come there like a police, yeah.
But did
Not
they have
that
a
night,
suit?
the following night, or any other days after that, ever?
No, they
speak
don't
to
come.
anybody?
Once those things happen, they don't come here. They come only that time. And maybe check it out around some place, but they don't come. They come once. We talking to them, or my husband goes, because not only one will happen thing. It's a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
We wait, sometimes wait like a month or less than a month to happen something back again.
What was happening besides the dog?
We have all
incidents?
the record.
Yeah.
We have they put a fire in our home, and another time.
How?
Eh?
How did they put a fire to
To
you?
cocktail Molotov or something because that reached the window upstairs and that fire report the fire
Yeah.
coming and everything.
Molotov cocktail.
Huh?
Yeah,
They
Molotov.
I don't know what it is in the window and my mother
year?
and my daughter sleep.
The screen was
May
closed, right?
1376, 1 month after birth.
This is why they don't
moved to
kill.
Pine Street. Before that, it was just letters, calls, and rocks. When Berkowitz moves to Pine Street, the next thing that happens, Molotov cocktail. Right at Sylvia's
I know
window.
you destroyed the letters, and this is a reach. Did the letters have postage on them? Do you remember they had stamps on them?
I don't remember that. As a matter of fact, they don't told me the first letter to me because I was in a hospital. I
Right. They
don't
didn't
want
want to get you upset. I saw that part of the interview.
Even
yeah.
they said to my husband she had to go to a quiet place.
Right. Was it always about your daughter, the letters, or was it about your whole family?
The letter, what I know,
Right.
is my daughter, and we're scared because my husband, even he called on the phone. He want to talk to my daughter. And we happened, what my husband told her no. She said, who is you are? But he don't say nothing.
And
No,
not on
I
the
want to
phone.
talk to Sylvia.
Yeah.
But I think he work in the post office. Maybe he have our address here to do that, because the letter come. The letters I know is come my daughter Sylvia, and she have about 12, 13 years when
She
that
was 12 or
happened.
13 years old.
Yes, something
right?
like that. Yeah.
But you were in the phone book, right? Did you have an unlisted number or listed
Yeah,
number?
no, I in a book
You were in the book.
with the same phone all the time.
Yeah,
My
so
life.
yeah, anybody, and especially if they were local. That's why I asked about the postage, because if there was no postage on it, somebody could have just put it into your.
And
Did you have
another
a map?
time,
Right.
and
You
another
know,
time too.
if it wasn't postmarked.
Most people were in the book years ago.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
my mother was so cheap
Yeah.
that this is.
No,
I
we
got
have
to
a
talk to
phone,
my
the
mother.
same phone all the time.
We didn't have an unlisted number. I can still tell you right now, it's 9693886, right? And because my father worked his whole high-profile cases, and because we never got terrorized, the Lorenzos. We did the terrorizing with these mopes who lived next to us, which is true, and that's the only way you can deal with it. This is in the pre-PC world. We didn't call the cops. We took care of it
Right.
ourselves.
Yeah, we
But
call it afraid to come.
my father would sit. We had a German Shepherd, Shannon, and his dog was mean. And my father would stick the dog on them. I remember one time he came home and he had a piece of an army jacket. Remember all the old heroin addicts used to wear the army jackets, and they were shit scared of my old man. So after that they would do these kind of they would pee in bottles and leave it in our yard. So when I was mowing the lawn and stuff, always stuff like poo-poo and you know, feces and stuff like that, they put it in a bag. Just these kind of little random acts of vandalism, because they never hung out there again anymore.
crazy.
You know, but then they were calling and I got to talk to my mom about this. I don't know if it preceded or it was after my father's name was in the paper with this case, the son of Sam. We got threatening phone calls for years, and me and my sister used to say, why is our number in the book? The first thing most cops did was get an unlisted number,
right.
because you're a cop, and you know what I mean. Like same thing back then. You say, "Oh, that Maitre, I'm gonna call and harass them or whatever."
But getting back to this whole thing with and you started on something before that I want you got cut off because you asked Maria a question. Something about the random nature of it, or something
Right.
about the dog only being out an hour.
Right.
What were your thoughts on that? I don't understand where you were going.
My
with that.
thoughts are that it's very random. Because if the dog was not known as an outside dog, she said that the
No,
dog was
my dog
normally
is
in
an
home.
outside dog.
But they had company here. They're having a party. The dog's
I myself open the door.
underneath their
In the
feet. You can
balcony.
see it when you have company, right? You have people and the dog could be sniffing around underneath your feet. Come on, get out of here. Go into
Right,
the room.
right.
Or you let them outside, go to the bathroom or whatever. So it wasn't like the thing was out there for hours,
Yeah.
yelping.
Just an hour.
So just say the time frame's an hour. You have a guy parked down there. So
Right. Waiting.
So that would take even a minimal amount of planning.
Yeah.
But he's just driving around randomly looking for this dog in particular in this small little time frame.
So what's your thought?
It's
stalking
too
him.
random.
It was
Either stalking him or
Who's his friend?
I don't know.
Random means by chance, like they didn't know you. They
No. They knew they.
No, she was asking what random means.
Yeah. It just seems like for the time frame for me again, Hoyt would be a good guy to talk to. I just imagine I can't make the assumption or give fact on the car's dog Harvey. I can't assume that. But just looking at their yard now and knowing, because I had a dog back in the 70s, especially in these areas like this, the dog would keep outside. It was almost like a hindrance, and also a bigger dog is not a lap dog. A bigger
Right.
dog
No,
would
my dog
be
is not.
outside. It would, you keep it outside. It was not unusual thing to do.
So you're thinking that maybe that somebody was actually waiting outside for that dog to be put outside?
I don't know. That's what I mean. It just seems if the dog was there all night, say 7 o'clock, and they said we're gonna get that.
But I don't think it's that case. That case come with the same thing that happened because that continue.
Right.
They put a fire in the house.
Right.
They call.
Yeah, it wasn't an isolated incident. There was
No,
other
it's
incidents.
no accident.
To this
This is
house.
why my husband, when we get the other dog, somebody give it to us, the neighbor, the big one. And we want that dog, but we are scared the way it's a dog is bad. And my husband said, that dog by my mother,
Talking about King.
the king. Then my daughter don't want to kill him. You know, a dog like that is dangerous. Then he running and by my mother over here outside.
Jesus.
Wicked King Wicker.
Yeah.
You sure you didn't keep any of those letters, Maria? You don't have them down in the basement?
No, because that letters come when I was in a hospital, and I don't see that letter. After I hear what they told me what happened
And
in
they
the
don't want to
letter,
upset you.
and the letter said they're gonna burn this house from the top to the bottom.
When your daughter was a little girl, say 10
Yeah.
or 11, what school did she go to?
St. Mary's,
Down in Square?
Yeah.
On Sapper Way?
yeah, and then
You guys drove her there? Or she,
Eh?
That's a good
I used to
walk.
scared all the time back on my daughter.
Huh?
And the reason I all the time have a panic to leave my daughter alone.
Of course.
Not because those things, for the life, I
Right,
scared.
it's your daughter, of course. Yeah.
I bring it to school, I pick around the school, I bring it to high school, Spelman.
Oh, she went to Spelman. So
After Spelman, she go to college,
Mercy.
Iona.
I don't know. So you used to drive her to St. Mary's to take the bus?
No, I be all the time my daughter, I scared.
No, I know. Did you drive her to St. Mary's?
Yeah, I drive it.
In a car. You had
Yeah,
your own
in a
car
car.
back then. God
Yeah.
bless you. My mother didn't have a car. I wish she did.
I do everything I want because this country give it to, not because you are a cop, I don't say that sometimes. It's because I love this country.
Okay. God bless you. Yeah.
Because
My
and
mother's an
I told
immigrant,
the
too.
people here too, this country give you
American
all the
dream.
opportunity if you want to work and be the way you have to be.
Yeah. And you-
But you come in another countries, we don't have that opportunity.
I know.
Maria, you owned a hair salon,
A
right?
beauty salon
Right.
with my sister
Right. If you're
for 30 years.
some of these countries, you're born poor, you die poor. Not in
You're
this country,
right.
Yeah.
And we was very poor, very
So
poor.
did my mother. My mother came from a farm with 8
Right.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, but I had my father sick for 26 years with leprosy.
Okay.
He's in a leprosy colony. Then I have all the time he was little, very poor in those house with no, how you call those leaves, you palmero? They do the house there in Cuba, very poor in those years.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is the house we
I
have.
mean, no plumbing, no gutters, nothing. And when my wife from Peru, same thing. Okay, when your daughter was little, you were, but would she play outside with her in your yard? You have a decent little
Yeah,
yard. Here.
we have a big yard here.
And did you have
In
the
the
swing
back.
set, or
Eh?
what did you have? A little swing set, a little
We have
pool?
everything for my daughter. We don't have the pool, we buy those pool.
Yeah, the inflatable pools. But the kids used to play over there, right?
Babe, but I be all the time.
Of course.
But
I
you can
afraid.
see from the aqueduct.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and you remember in the 70s, a lot of kids would walk up and down the aqueduct, right?
I see.
And then with the bicycle,
Right.
sometimes the dirt bike, right?
Right.
Remember? Yeah. Yeah.
But
Ask about the dogs that she heard.
The what?
Ask if she ever heard any dogs on the aqueduct.
Did you ever hear any like loud
at night,
screaming?
I make car my husband and I before. Now I sleep there, but we sleep in that room here. I all the time hear dog like they know, like a bark, like they play. You hear like somebody do something to them.
They were yelping. They were crying.
Like that. And I said to my husband, and after those things start happening to us, more scared I get.
How long were you here for? When did you move here?
When that happened,
No. When did you first move into this home?
I maybe 57 years. Yes.
1957 or
Something.
57 years
No,
ago?
I come to this country in 1958.
Okay.
But after first I live in New Jersey.
Right.
Then from New Jersey, in 2 months I married with my husband, my good husband.
Quick love affair.
You see, I get that from the Pope. Not too many people have that.
Very nice. Everything's beautifully set out.
Then
I love this. The window seat. Yeah, it's nice. Beautiful home. So you were here before this. So were your children born here when
my
you lived
daughter,
in Yonkers?
my daughter, yes, my daughter born. I don't live here when my daughter born.
Where was that?
And Jefferson Street, where it's a Rattle Park or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, Jefferson over
My
by
mother-in-law
Riverdale.
have a house there.
It's all gone.
Then we live there. Everything go down.
But you were here like and all this was happening in the 70s. Were you here in the 60s or no?
Yeah, I come here. Yes.
No, here in this house.
Because I'm married and we make a little money.
Yeah.
Before, you make a, for me, it's
little
a
nest egg,
millions
yeah.
to make $1 an hour.
Yeah.
But then we collect a little money.
Yeah.
I remember the first time, the $10,000 we start collecting little by little, my husband and I. And I want my house, I several times I want my house. Maybe I be here 7, 8 years after I bought this house. The paper had to say that.
So you bought this place in 1960, what year did you buy this house?
Maybe I come 1958. Maybe after 7 years or something like that, we
So
bought this
65.
house. Yeah.
Now, before this incident,
Yeah.
with your dog getting shot, your daughter getting harassed, you always
My
were
daughter get it what?
harassed, with the bother.
No, that is it's more.
No, I know that, but I'm saying before that time, before like when you first were here in the late 60s, early 70s, right? Do you remember dogs hearing that since you moved in here, or
No,
just
no,
around that
no,
time?
no. This is like a palace.
So
my house.
everything up until this time when your dog got shot and all these bad incidents happened with the fire and all that, all the years earlier, you never heard dogs screaming.
No.
So
no.
it was right around that
No.
same time
The same
that
time.
your dog got shot, the firebomb and all
And
that.
they called. They say my husband is a hunting guy. You see.
Yes.
Yeah.
They called the
It's a-
swatting incident.
Then he had gun. He
Yeah.
have. Matter of fact, he give it one to the station and give me his gun.
Right.
To them. Then my husband. Let me go to the story. I come back about the hunting. They call the cop and say somebody in our home killed 5 people. Killed.
Yeah.
Right away, it's police all
False
over.
report, yeah.
That record has to be in the police.
Yeah, false call.
Right. And then my husband running to the door, but my daughter is so scared because you know what we go through about this. We don't sleep at night. Going back with the father said, please hold him to the but he opened because the cop start push the door. Then he opened, and my husband take the gun. He have it. They kill my husband.
They would have killed them, yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, because they were going on the
God
assumption. that he was
protect
doing
us all
something.
the time.
Right.
Yeah.
After you remember, obviously, because everybody in the world knew. After that guy got arrested, right, son of Sam
Son of Sam.
Berkowitz.
It's a people.
Was there any more dog yelping on the?
No, I don't hear no more. But,
After that,
no
no
letters,
more dog
no.
yelping, and you didn't have an air conditioner in the room. You could hear everything.
No,
Right?
I can hear everything. I have air conditioner.
You had an air
in the room.
conditioner in there,
Yeah, all the time. We very poor,
and
but
you
we
could,
had
and you could still hear the dog crying.
I hear the terror, the way they're crying. It's that side, like that side.
There's a little space up there on the aqueduct that's a little flat area, a little elevated up, that looks like a perfect place for just people to hang out with. There's a homeless colony right up there now.
Is there?
Not a colony, but you can tell that homeless people live there.
Huh.
There's like a tents and blankets and stuff. Right up there, I have a feeling that that's probably where the spot is that she's talking about, because she's pointing right to that spot.
Yeah.
We can go look at it after we're done here.
You guys were you guys? So your church was St. Mary's.
All the time.
You guys went to
St.
church
Mary.
every Sunday.
Every Sunday, my daughter play in St. Mary. Since 9 years old, every Sunday volunteer.
Very nice. But as far as this neighborhood, you had your you have family around here, right? You had some cousins or family.
Upstairs, I have my mother, my mother-in-law.
Right.
Everybody, I bring a house with me when I go to this house.
And then your family would come here for parties. You have a nice big house.
We all the
Big
time
house.
here, my family.
Right. This was the center place for
Right, it's the
so you
center
didn't
place,
really,
the whole
you
family.
would say hello to the neighbors and stuff.
Everybody.
But you weren't really friendly. You didn't have those
no,
people come to your
you
house.
don't have even here. You don't have that building. It's a bar in a corner.
I remember.
And down there they have a guy, one guy with the garage, I think.
Yes.
And when the house they rent in the back of here, where we know those people. The other side we have another color guy. I don't know, he died now because he moved from here. A wonderful man. He's our friend. He go to my daughter's wedding.
But you didn't know the Carr family.
No, I don't see. I see them. I don't recognize them either. No, for no reason. It's this and
Where would you go food shopping?
I guess those years I go to the food shop. Well, I go to the
A&P.
not that short right there. No, it's something they have near St. Mary. They have in the back of St. Mary we have like a shop, not shop right, but
No, it was.
I
Yeah.
used to shopping. And the Portuguese, they have a lot of store in Main Street.
Right.
Then I go there too, my friends.
You didn't go to this A&P over here on Warburton, did you?
Used to be an old A&P down here.
Or the one up on Glenwood? Remember these?
No, I don't go to those
You didn't go to
places.
those places.
No, I don't know
So-
either. So I'll go there. And now you get scared, but before it's not be like.
It wasn't good either. I remember as a kid, yeah, it wasn't that great.
But not like now. Now it's a
terrible.
hell to live there.
It's hell. I know. I worked here and I didn't grow up too far from here. So
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was telling him when I was a young guy, I had friends on Pine Street. So when this thing
Yeah.
happened, we're like, oh my God, it was so crazy.
Because they're quiet.
Huh?
The people, that's the area here was quiet.
Yeah, it was quiet.
Right.
I mean, yeah. When I was a cop in the '80s, it was kind of getting rough. Not here. They said, and even Halcyon Place. It was so weird because it's beautiful old. What are those?
Yeah.
Were they Tudors or those old massive homes?
Victorians or-
The Victorians, like
Yeah.
they used to have down on Woodworth and all that.
Big, beautiful
And it was so weird because literally a block down there were
Right.
shootings on Point Street down here. Forget it.
When they moved in here, there were tenants on the second floor that were still trying
Oh,
to.
that is the hell we have here too, the guy living here.
They would abuse their daughter, tell her walk like a dog. So there's that word.
Her
dog
daughter.
Again, right?
Her daughter.
Her
walk
tenants
like a
up here?
dog. Yeah. They
The
came
men
with
live
the
here.
house.
When I come to board at this house,
And we don't know who they are. They scratched up the entire place with knives.
Who's the
when
former
they left.
landlord?
That's we gotta figure all this
I
out. We don't know.
can
We
find
gotta get
because I
records.
forgot about, but he worked to drive the planes.
The owner of this place was a pilot.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
And he sold the house to us. And he said to my husband, I'm going to tell you something I don't want to tell before. He said to my husband, maybe you try to take that guy upstairs because for that reason I moved from here.
But he owned the house.
He owned the house, but he sold the house to my husband.
Probably having a hard time evicting them even back then, right?
Right.
It's hard to evict somebody from the house, I mean, but you could get it done though. You're selling the house.
Right, that's why he said to me,
You're not obligated to keep the tenant.
No, but they
I didn't control.
they kept him because the Maria told us that her husband was just like, yeah, let's just leave him in here. They're paying the rent. Let's just leave him.
And
It's a
they-
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, he don't believe it. He said maybe they jealous one another and that's why this man called bad about this guy. But he said, this is the reason I'm going to move from here. And he do a lot of things to my husband after that.
He what?
Because it's a rent control, right?
would do a lot of things.
We don't know.
What?
He would
Yeah.
they would throw the garbage, like stupid stuff, like the garbage.
A
would take
lady.
the garbage, and then the wife would come down, and that's when she would put her garbage in, right when the garbage left. Like doing it
Passive
on
aggressive
purpose.
stuff.
They would threaten to beat up. Her.
My husband keep everything, excuse me.
Yeah, sorry, you're the star. Not me.
We have a nice fence. We live, right? And he all the time keep nice, my husband. My husband cut all that guy come, he have all the living, and he start doing like that. He wanted fighting with my husband.
How old was he?
He's a married man, married with a lady. That happened to I get the house.
Yeah.
And when I get the house, that guy was here. After we get the house, we had that junk over there.
How long did he live here?
You know who take it out from him? Romano. You know Romano, the lawyer.
Yeah, lawyer, yeah.
John.
John Romano, he said, give me a favor.
My lawyer.
That's interesting.
Talking to him about that, he knows. Thank you. Wait, excuse me.
I want to find out more. Like, is this guy people white? Were they black?
Hello.
Was he around during the
Hello.
sale? He was still a tenant
Not
here?
sure. That's what we got to figure out.
I'm sorry.
But the woman would say to the daughter, "Walk like a dog." This was a little girl. She was.
The lady living over there, yeah.
Who told you that?
Tell him that. Tell
Yeah.
him.
The story of that guy, that is the first thing when we come here. We buy the house, and the owner told us, I sell this house, you know the reason, that guy
Because of the tenant.
tried to take it off before you move here because was rent control. And the lawyer don't told me that is a rent control, otherwise I never buy it.
But Maria, what would the woman say to the daughter?
Then after those, he started with problems with my husband. One day, we was with my mother-in-law in her house for Christmas too. Then we got there and the boiler closed. When we come, the guy want to have a fight with my husband. He was in the door, and he want my husband go outside to fight with him, but my husband don't leave. My husband said, no, you go inside. I don't go outside. Come here and do what you want to do to me because I don't go outside. Because he was inside, we had the right to come in our house.
Correct.
But Maria, what did you hear the wife say to the daughter?
Well, after that happened, continued problem like that, those men, and then it's the fire, the boiler closed. We was in Christmas with my mother-in-law, and this is another time.
Were they here when all these incidents were taking place?
No.
So
Those things happen after that, long after that.
So they moved.
They moved because Romano,
Okay.
What year, though? What year did you get them out of here? Around?
maybe,
How long do you think they were here when you bought the house? After
I
you
don't
bought it?
think he know, I don't know the long those people was here.
No.
After you bought.
After you bought the house, how long before you got them kicked out?
Maybe 2 years or something like
2
that.
years, so-
because we start talking to Romano, he said you can take it off because he's a rent control. And you don't can take the people.
Early 70s.
Had to be. Yeah.
And after you kicked him out, did that man come out after he was kicked out, after he wasn't living here anymore, and try to start trouble with your husband?
That man I never see.
You never saw him again
No,
after they
I
were
don't
kicked
saw
out?
him again. But he's a man with problem, and the wife
he's
the
a nut.
same thing. And they put the door. I hear when I come Mondays. I work in a beauty parlor. I be and date, and I hear she fighting with a little girl. The little girl is about 3 years, 4 years. And I hear walking. Matter of fact, in those years I don't speak almost nothing in English, but those words I remember. Walking like a dog, and they get screaming.
Walking like a dog.
Walking like a dog.
Walk like yelling at him. Walk like a dog.
Like that.
For something.
Interesting that the word dog comes up, and dogs are all over this case. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
just
Did they work?
The man I think is a taxi driver. I don't know
Taxi
their
driver.
life because I don't care.
Travis Bickle.
for a little while.
And what did she do? She didn't work. She was
Did they have
always
a
here.
dog?
She don't work, eh?
Did they have a dog?
No, they don't have no dog. They have that little girl, and then we try very hard to take it off from here. And that man want a problem with my husband. I said to my husband, please keep quiet because my
you have
husband want
everything to
to
lose.
hit it. You might he come there, they put the garbage. My husband put the garbage all the time, and then they waiting to my husband take the garbage from that and then fill it up the garbage to he take it out
Yeah,
next day.
it's called passive aggressive, just breaking chops. What were you going to say about your father's your husband's hunting? You were going to tell me something.
That day they said they killed 5 people
Right.
here. You imagine my husband
Right,
take
if
the
he had
gun,
the
he
gun,
have
yeah,
it
yeah.
because he have a gun and especially we had the problem. He had the gun where he can hold it any something happen
Right.
to us.
Because they were already being harassed by
And then you imagine my husband take a gun. What happened?
Right, of
They
course.
killed my
Yeah,
husband.
yeah. But was it,
And my daughter too.
was it a pistola or a rifle?
No, he have the two then. He have the gun. He had the permission.
Yeah, no, but was it a pistol or a long one?
He have a pistol and he have a long one.
For hunting- the hunting for the long one,
hunting.
yeah, right.
And he give the pistol before, a long time before, he give it to the cop because he don't can do no more go hunting. He died with
He
cancer.
surrendered the guns.
Huh?
He surrendered the guns to the police.
Yeah, he
Probably
only-
Richie Rubin.
He give it to the gun. They want to give him money. They want to give him. My husband say, I don't want it. It's a good gun. No, I don't want it. I don't want this no more at home
Okay.
because you
Yeah, he
see.
surrendered the guns. Yeah, for safekeeping.
And the another thing, he have in a basement for the hunting, those deer. He have it. She used to
So
hunt.
after the bad guy got arrested, right? Son of Sam Berkowitz. Was everything nice after that?
A peaceful life.
Never had another issue after that. Never had another issue. Never got another phone call.
No.
Never got another letter.
No.
No incidents.
Nothing.
No more dogs
We come back to the earth because we live in hell.
You lived in hell.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's true.
I feel sorry for you. I wish I was around back then, but yeah, it was a tough time for everybody.
For everybody, they have a.
And it's a beautiful home, but all it takes is a couple people to make your life miserable.
You're right.
That's terrible.
You're right.
But thank God it
And
stopped.
believe me, I have a beautiful home.
You do. It's gorgeous.
My husband and I,
Quiet
we
streets,
help
right?
to raise children, two
Yeah, you had a
children.
great
The
life.
three. I have another child, my husband, cousin. The father killed himself, that girl. And then his, her cousin, and we bring the little child, and she work in General Motors. And we have her here, or she go to college.
Nice. Yeah, I did that. My wife's brother was killed, and we took in his kids. Yep. That's the
My husband is a
Christian thing
good
to
man.
do. It's a Christian thing to do.
Very
We
good.
had those in my house too. The deer heads always freaked me out.
That is my husband hunting that
Do you
deer.
guys want to go and see the?
It's my
I
husband.
want to see the holes in the house, and we're going to let you go, Maria. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Very
I
good,
hope
nice.
you do the
Nice
best.
meeting you. Thank you so much.
If we do in this earth the best, we do everything.
Maria, let me just grab this thing here.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, dear.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Look at the old. I had this in my house in Colgate.
You want to Colgate?
No. I lived on Colgate up on Palisade Avenue, but we had the same thing. These old characters in your home. You don't get this anymore.
My grandson go to Colgate.
No, sweetheart. I lived on Colgate Avenue in
Yeah, but I
Yonkers.
said my grandson
Oh,
go to Colgate.
Colgate University.
wow.
University.
Wow. You really, I tell you what, if we ever want to do a story on American Dream,
No.
you
Never had a
family
job
I
here.
want to talk to.
I've had this
Gorgeous.
we
I
had
love
this
this.
for 6 years now.
I mean, this was the only thing
Character.
that was happening here on this.
Yeah.
And it seems like when Berkowitz got
For me, my life.
arrested, it all ended. Of course,
Do
the
people
car
come
was dead.
still visit your grandchildren and everything? Your grandchildren
Every
come see
Sunday
you?
we-
God bless
We
them.
go to church every Sunday.
Good. Where?
St.
Possibility
Mary's.
that it was
Still?
Berkowitz.
God bless you.
And then he got
God
into
bless
the
you.
car waiting
Yeah.
with another
There's something
Beautiful.
to do.
You have a
something to do with
beautiful
them.
home.
Guy here,
Of course.
this is the guy here. He come from
Berkowitz
Mexico.
didn't move into 76.
You know how no ice here in the side.
Really?
Oh,
He
The
was
Lion
nice.
Club. my
So for 2 years here, a year and a half, say.
They take and they put the ice to the guy.
And you
He
have
used to a
rapists and
party
suffocator
here,
of young girls.
Yeah.
16 years
Right?
old.
And Sylvia, the young girl. I mean,
Now he
listen,
has
just
the
look-
glass
Indeed,
eye.
he
Yeah.
come from
Thoughts,
there.
like-
And then
I have a feeling that
met this guy.
Wait, maybe his mic is still coming through.
Yeah,
We all put
It
the
is.
ice
He's
and he
still being. Let me
perfect now.
let's get
good for you.
this conversation. Let's see.
God bless you.
Okay, Mike. So I'm going to show you the.
Is that your husband and you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Guy.
so handsome.
Yeah, man, look at this.
Ay, guapo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, and he loved me too.
Yeah, of course he does. Why wouldn't
Of
he?
course, yeah.
You look at this. This is before
That's
he
why
died.
good triumphs over evil, my dear.
You see, my husband is with the cancer. They have in New York a feast to give a present to him. This.
Very
something
nice,
like that.
beautiful.
Okay, the doctor said don't take it there because he's really gonna die. And they afraid to take it where they're gonna give the plaque to him. Then he told me, let me go because I don't gonna do no more. Then we rent a limousine and the family go there
Very nice.
and they give a plaque to him. My husband is a good man, he loves the
Oh, of
family.
course he was. And he raised a beautiful family.
And we love one another.
Yeah.
I'm not showing this because Sylvia doesn't want to be seen.
Obviously, yeah.
But Sylvia,
So boom, here's the sitting room.
right here.
Yes.
Look at when I'm married, look at when I'm
Oh, this is the room where they were sitting
Yes,
when the shots
yeah.
were.
This is the
They were at the
piano.
piano right here,
Yep.
This is the Prescorian where he is married now.
and then they first went to the window, and then they went out the door.
Look at me when we married. the two
Wow.
hands
Look at
together.
you. Man.
Let me see that.
Hot.
She was beautiful.
We
Yeah,
married
look.
2 months.
Still
We met
beautiful.
one another and we married 2 months.
Wow.
We work.
Yeah, the American dream. You worked hard, you saved
I get my
a
dream.
couple bucks.
I come to United States
Yeah.
to look for my dream and I found.
Of course you did.
I love this country.
Unfortunately, for 2 years,
couple-
they were harassed by these sickos.
Yeah, these
What?
knuckleheads, these whatever you want to call them. Man.
My daughter play piano. My daughter is have a musician before. She played in different
She's
ways.
in a
and
band.
everything. He's famous in that.
Where'd she go to high school? Spelman?
No, she go to Spelman. The college. She won the
Yeah, you told
college.
Iona.
She went
Yeah,
to Iona.
that's where my
From
sister
Iona,
went.
she go to Columbia. She get another two other degrees.
Post degree,
She have only
postgraduate.
brain. The mother don't have it. Only have the
No, you had the brains. She inherited from somebody. That doesn't come out of thin air, sweetie.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
Maria.
so much. Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Que Dios te bendiga.
Gracias, thank you. Anytime you need us,
Thank you.
we are here to serve you.
Gracias, gracias.
You want this or no? Free work gloves.
Thank you.
Watch your step, Mike, here at the bottom. So here, guys, and you both have microphones on, so we can get both your opinions. Here's where the dog was shot.
Yep.
Sitting on here. The hole. If you, I have an old article. There's a hole in the fence, roughly here. In fact, you can still see where they
It's a
repaired
whole
it
before.
on the other side. And then the bullet hole. The one that's left is here.
Wow.
And you dug in there?
Yeah, came
They took
and,
up the siding and
took
everything?
off that piece of siding. And they also said that there's bullet holes behind here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my husband put this new
Who
Yeah.
took off the siding?
Crime scene guys.
And there was nothing
There was a massive
hole.
chunk taken out of the wood, about this big.
It's a small hole for, well, you know, the echo here. There had to
Yeah.
be some echo with the,
That's a 22 hole.
yeah.
You know Fernandez, the cop, the police
Has a picture of underneath.
Fernandez?
He does?
Oh,
Yeah.
the commissioner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't share it with me because I
That
felt
is the
like
time he was
I
a
really have the right to ask
Yes.
him
This
for
is
it.
it?
But he took it. Yeah, he took it.
He's a nice man.
A very good person.
Nice man, nice
Yeah.
family, yep.
Yeah.
He passed away about 10 years
In
ago.
Portugal,
Who, Joe?
right?
Yeah, Portugal, yeah.
He went to Portugal.
Yep.
He married
Do you think that's a
Portuguese.
Yes,
fragment
yep.
or an actual bullet?
He was a nice man.
Yeah, very
Gentleman.
good person.
Good family.
Because it seems like there
His
would have been
brother
a lot
was a
of
cop
shit
too, yeah.
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
here and there. But the bullet.
Where was the dog? Where was the dog?
Maria, where was the dog? Here?
Here?
They understand. They will put this that perspective for
Was this here?
He was on here?
I don't remember the night.
Was this always here?
No.
When did this?
My
When?
husband put it. I don't know.
When?
How long.
After the dog was shot?
Really, I don't remember.
Okay.
I know my husband put it.
We have
but
pictures
we
from
don't
that
have
era,
these
though.
either.
I'm from the Daily News, so we can check. I have a picture of his front stoop from 1977.
That's 47 years
You
ago,
know,
right?
1977, those things?
I have a picture of you from 1977.
Oh, yeah. That my husband put. He put this new.
And I'll take you across the street to where if there might have been an interesting little place, you know, where someone could have hidden away. And it would have followed the trajectory too. There's a little blind down there that goes downhill. The incline's down there. Somebody could have just been sitting there, angling the gun up.
No. No.
No.
No. He would have done it right from here.
But there, was a,
Especially-
but there
what?
was a hole in the fence. In the Daily News article, there's a hole in the fence. One of these sections here, like right around here. I'll get you that article. It's blown out. But then again, if it went through and blew out the fence, wouldn't that then deflect the bullet to go, or
Could
maybe the
have
hole
two
was there-
shots.
2 shots. Maybe the hole was there already.
One definitely into the dog's neck.
The dog
Through and
died,
through?
gushing blood.
But was that projectile ever recovered?
I don't know.
Because if it was a through and through, if we're talking 30-30 with a dog in the neck shot,
That would have blown
been
the head
right
off.
through. No, it might not have blown the head off, but it could have been a through and through.
So then there you go. And I think Berkowitz did own a 30-30. Pretty sure he owned a 30-30.
Because a little crack of a 22,
They said it was.
I mean,
a
again, like he said, like with the echo around here, who knows? I mean, I don't like saying definitives, but
Right.
30-30 is a gun to take down a moose. You understand? So it's like, it's overkill for a dog. It's
Right.
really overkill. A 22, I mean, 22 could kill a person, obviously, too, but
Right.
it's just say it was a 30-30 or 30-06, and it by chance hit a part of the fencing. Okay. It's not like if you planted like you taped a blockbuster here and it would maybe blow a hole like that.
Right.
I would need to see what you're talking about hole, because if it came here, the projectile, the bullet itself, not the bullet, the bullet itself, the head of the bullet, on a 30, it's still going to be considerable. It's going to be like this, but it's going to be narrow, and at high velocity, it spins like this. So if it hit this, it would just damage this.
Right.
Do you understand? And it could still do damage.
It wouldn't blow
because
a hole through it.
It wouldn't blow a hole through it. No, it wouldn't.
So maybe
it
that
wouldn't.
hole was there beforehand.
Who knows?
Right. I'll show you the
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah, who
I have all
knows?
the pictures. I have my
But the trajectory of that, just on the configuration of the sidewalk, Berkowitz was what, 5'9"?
Yeah. I mean,
That doesn't look like again, it could have been a fragmented piece of bullet that caused that.
right.
Or if he shot from here, if I'm shooting at a target like here, right? I'm shooting here in training. I'm shooting at a target. All my holes are going to be like this when I look at my target as it approaches me. Boom, boom, boom. So when I look at my sheet and see how many my bullets hit, they're going to be like this. They're going to be round.
Right.
But if you're shooting at an angle, it's not going to be a round hole. If I'm shooting like here, right? Boom. That entry is going to look like that. It's not going to look like this because it's not straightforward.
Right. And then there is an angle there on that
There's an angle to that.
Yeah.
So because of the age of the home, you would have to have somebody come out here with, again, we don't know because we don't have a point of where he was standing when he shot. When they first saw him, he was already fleeing. So we don't know where he was standing when he shot. You suspect over this area.
Well, the only reason why I suspected that was because I thought that the hole, which was in the bottom of that fence in the newspaper article, and then you have the hole there, which angles up. Not being a policeman or a crime scene investigator, my natural thing was, well, maybe he was lying on the ground here, angling up like that. But we were told that there were cars parked here the entire stretch of the block that night.
I don't buy that.
Okay.
Just especially with the fact that narrowing down that time frame. If it was the dog was only out there for an hour, it wasn't out there for this long period of time. That's very, very unusual to me. Is it a matter of circumstance these guys were out, especially Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
They have a view right from their house.
Huh?
They have a view right from over here, seeing what goes on.
The infatuation with this,
Yes.
with the young girl
Yeah,
before Berkowitz was
Yeah.
even in the picture, you could see it, Bobby, right?
Yeah.
You could see it. They're a good-looking family. The mother's still good-looking at her
Sure.
age. There might have been
were
just
beautiful.
complete
Yeah.
infatuation, especially with some
Yep.
coke, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was known as a rapist and suffocator specifically of young girls.
Well, according to Berkowitz.
according to
yeah.
well, according to the letter.
According to the
According
letter.
to the letter,
Right.
which
Which we don't know who wrote.
Could be his
right,
letter.
right. I mean, and if it was Berkowitz, was dreaming up demons in their attic. So you're not talking with a rational mind.
True.
Again, I'm not alibying John Carr, but
Right.
and he would want, and any guy would want. We want corroboration. We want as many people telling me. We can all agree one thing. We all know that Berkowitz is a nut, right?
Right.
But is there enough people who can give you a character background on the cars besides Maury Terry and these other people who didn't even admittedly know them personally?
Well, that's what we're trying to suck
That's
up.
what you're trying to suck up. That's what I would want to know.
Right.
What kind of picture? From what I seen, I guess you did a small interview with this guy that went to college with Michael Carr. He might have been strange. He might have been into the occult, esoteric, but he seemed like a Type A personality.
He was a hustler.
He was a hustler. He was out there running for student government.
Yeah.
That's not in my opinion, that's not a guy who's into walking in these dark areas at night. He's out there. If he's on the scene with these kind of weirdos, stuff like that, it's probably the motivation is probably for chicks or to get high. He's looking for a thrill. It's a thrill seeking.
Right.
But the nefarious things of going to creepy places, walking around at night, peepers, that's a solitary thing. That's not even a group thing.
Yeah, no,
That's a
no.
very solitary act of weirdness. But in my opinion, it's not practical to think that he would lay down like a sniper and shoot this dog.
Okay.
Especially for an hour. The whole thing with the car, if that's definitive,
You mean with the car waiting
right?
there?
You're telling me that you spoke to family members who said that, and I
Three separate ones.
again, there's no reason for them to lie. But Bobby agreed with me. For us looking at this 40, 50 years later, and it wasn't a major crime then, the shooting of a dog. I
No,
mean, it would have
no.
been investigated, but
Reported.
It would have only been significant when taken into
it would have been
full-
it would have
Yeah.
been reported. Again, knowing what we know now, you know, we would have done all those things. We would have combed this area. We'd have a grid search for a possible projectile. If it was a 30-30, if it was a bolt action 30-30, it might not have made a projectile. If it was a 22, most 22s are semi-automatic, so every time you pull the trigger, the bullet, the casing ejects.
Right.
And that could possibly be evidence. If this was a major hunting gun, not all, but a lot of them were bolt action.
Right.
Bolt action. So you would have to actually, after the shot, you'd have to pull back the bolt, which, if it was 2 shots, there might have been a
They said it
projectile.
was like 30 seconds between each shot.
30 seconds?
Yeah, that's what they said. Like maybe 30 seconds later, they heard the second shot.
That's a long
Because
time.
the first shot,
That's
they didn't know
odd.
what it was.
That's a long time.
She
And
said,
especially with a 30-30?
well, listen, that's all. We got to go back and look at the interviews. But she said that they heard the first shot. They were wondering
That's a
what it
long
was,
time. Count out 30 seconds.
And she said maybe 30 seconds later that they heard the second
Yeah.
shot.
It's probably
Probably
It's
not
probably
remember.
5 seconds.
7
later.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. 30 seconds. Count 30 seconds. Right now,
Especially since you see a man running down
right,
the hill
with my
to a car,
ass,
yeah.
57 years old, right? If you started 1001, even my fat ass in Doc Martens, I'll be around that corner in 30 seconds. There's no doubt about it. At this age, at this stage, after just smoking a Camel, I'll get down.
But what
30
about the
seconds is a
whole
long time.
psychology of the first shot and then waiting until the family comes out to see their reaction? Like what? Like maybe that.
And that's when the second shot was.
Well, then you're right. Yeah, they wouldn't have been. We got to look at the timeline. They're saying that maybe 30 seconds, but you're right. It
Yeah,
could
they're
be
shook
10
up.
seconds.
They're shook up.
Just shook
now.
up. Yeah, 30 seconds. That's just a round figure.
That's a long time.
He wants to get off the set.
right.
And
He just
did.
killed the
And
fucking
he did.
dog.
He just ran
Right.
down the
And
hill.
he's
He was
running.
seen.
And he's got a
So
gun.
It's not right.
You know what I mean? He's got
Right.
he's got a rifle. He's not squirreled away where he can scour back into his little cubby hole over here.
So you're saying shot and then whatever time if it was a bolt
The
action.
second shot is crazy. The fact they did 2.
They're sure of 2 shots.
Okay, I have no.
This is an old fence. This fence been here a long time.
Yeah, there's be no reason for them to lie, you know, on the second shot.
Right.
But like Bob says, in all likelihood, it was at the most 5 seconds.
Right. 5 to 10.
Maybe boom, did he kill it? Now he sees that the thing's done. What?
Or
Maybe he
he
missed the first shot,
Right.
and the second shot was the kill shot.
Maybe the first
Don't know.
shot was the one that ended up either going.
That
around
looks
there.
like an angled shot. If there was a car parked here, again, I don't know. He might have used it as a base to load down on it, or over here. But either way, that doesn't look like a direct shot. Like if I take
did you see the
this,
Yep, yeah.
if I take, like when me and Bobby were at the shooting range and the target's there, we're shooting like this. We're not shooting at an angle.
Right. Right.
We're shooting directly, bang, bang. So when the target comes in, we go to how many did we get in the thing? Every hole looks like that.
Right.
But at an angle, it wouldn't look like that. It would look, right?
Right.
That's what that appears to me.
So which means that whoever did this was standing
Possibly.
probably not over there because there was all these cars in the way. Although they could have done it from above a car at an angle over here like this. Because I'm pretty sure we got to go back to the interview, but I'm pretty sure when they saw him running away he was across the street. But I gotta figure. I gotta. You know, these are all little details that we can.
But the fence was here, right?
Yeah. We gotta confirm whether he was across the street running down or not. That's important.
If you had the bullet again, you'd have to be able to do your, and if that railing, those hand railings were
exchange.
there,
Watch your backs.
If the hand railings were there, again, those are all forensic things. Where exactly was the dog? What was the position of the dog? How high? You know, was it laying down? Was it up? They wouldn't know. They were inside the house. They couldn't tell you what the dog was doing. So, was the dog walking around like this? So it wasn't just a set like this. Was the dog? The dog's gonna maybe even peek up, like, what the fuck is this? If he was an attentive dog, right? Maybe look up. What's this person doing here? Which dogs do, right?
Yeah, especially a German Shepherd.
And maybe the first shot did miss. He's scared too. Maybe he's a little bit nutty. Maybe he's fucked up on drugs or something like that.
And you remember, this was before the first Son of Sam shooting, so maybe his nerve wasn't quite up to snuff yet, like you say. Like maybe he was nervous on that first shot.
Or the dog's moving.
Right. Anyway.
But weird thing, huh? Christmas. That's another weird Christmas
weird.
Eve.
Yeah, Christmas.
What kind of person's not with their family? You know, I mean, you're out there looking to kill a fucking dog.
Also, that could tie into this whole thing with Satanism, like doing something on the night before the Christmas Eve, And May 13th, the night of the Molotov cocktail, which was in that thing right there, that's our feast of Our Lady of Ascension or something. It's actually a Portuguese holiday. So somebody knew. May 13th wasn't a random date, in my opinion. That's some sort of Portuguese thing. So
I thought they were Cubano.
the father was Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
So it obviously they knew intimate details of this family.
Yeah, I mean, great theory. But being a Catholic, every day the fucking year is some kind of saint's day. I'm telling you, right? Hey, Bobby, what the hell you got me turn around and say it's
Every day.
That's why I hang out with you
the
guys.
blessing of the bread, you know what I mean?
Find out what's going
I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just saying, like,
You
it's
guys
just,
are pros, not
yeah,
me.
no, I'm not a pro. I'm just, every theory is a good
Brains and
theory.
toast, though, too.
But no. But like you said, in hindsight, and I'm not blaming anybody, because I'll be honest with you, I've had cases that you never know. I mean, I know Bob was trained right, I was trained right, so you never do take anything for granted. Number one, it'll get you killed on the street. But every job you should, because you never know.
Right.
And you shouldn't blow up jobs. And that's, like, nowadays, thankfully, like, any assault on an animal, like I told you, when Vinny DiDio had this
big
cat
news. That's
with these feral cats, this nut up here. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you did up there, up at
The guy,
Unfire.
no, not yeah.
You told us the story.
Yeah, on Lamartine Terrace, this nut, Vinny DiDio had the case. I mean, that was, Vinny was allowed to really run with that, and thankfully so. Because a person who would do that is capable of doing anything.
Right, it's a hop,
I mean,
jump
to
to the
kill a cat or a dog. I'll be honest with you. Bobby can tell you the same thing. I've sat across murders going, I know why he did it. Like, you know what I mean? Because, especially on the street, because it's like, get them before they get you. And a lot of times our victims weren't exactly holy rollers themselves. So it's kind of the law of the jungle. You don't even feel any animus towards the guy. You're like, yeah, I can. And those guys are easy to confess because it's the macho thing. Hey, this guy, he shot you 2 weeks ago. You just got him back. And they'll open up to that. They'll say, yeah, I got him.
Right.
He was coming after me and I zapped him. But to kill an animal, again, that.